Alright, I'm back. But yeah, that I don't know what went down with that. I must have accidentally hit something. But I'm gonna read again. This is Jeremiah 5:26. It says, "For among my people are found wicked men." It says, "They lay wait as he that set of snares. They set a trap. They catch men." You see, as a cage is full of birds, so their house is full of deceit. Therefore, they are become great and waxing rich, man, because they're being paid, by these devils, to do that, man, to sell their own people out, man. You see, it says they are waxing fat, they shine, yeah, they overpass the deeds of the wicked, meaning they're more wicked than the wicked, man, because Esau is just doing what he was created and set up to do, just to be the devil, the wicked. But it's saying our people have even overpassed that, man. They judge not the cause of the fathers, yet they prosper, right? And the right and needy do they not judge, man. You see? Now, speaking of your man Joe Biden, he's pushing. Let me see if I'm gonna get a scripture real quick. Bear with me. All right, speaking of your man Joe Biden, you know. All right, we back. All right, let me show you something, right? This is Joe Biden back in '93, right? He's speaking of crime, right? So
it doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents, it doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister.
So who you think he talking? He talking about Jake, man. You see? That's what he's talking about. He said it doesn't matter if they're a victim to the ills of society. Let me go back.
Deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become.
And who set that system up? You devils did, man. You see? This is what I was talking about, man. They set up a snare leading to a trap, man. What I just read to you, man. Okay, in Jeremiah the 5th chapter, man. You see, these devils will get, the sellers of our people, to lead Jake, into that trap. And when Esau got him where he want him, boom, our people fall for it and they're consumed, man. Okay? And that's not lining up. What he's saying in 93 and 94, you see it's not lining up what he's saying now. All of a sudden it's a change of heart, Let me get a scripture real quick. This is Psalms 55. You see? Because who set that up? Psalms 55 and 20, right? It says, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with them, right? And he had broken his covenant, man. And this is what Esau is. He's a covenant breaker, man. He doesn't keep anything he says, man. He goes against everything he say, man. Okay? Especially when it comes to you tribes, man. This is what he do. Look at Gad, man. Look at the so-called Native American Indians, man. You see? How they got all them peace treaties that they made, with these Edomites. And what happened? They broke every single last one of them. And damn near decimated most of Gad, man. The words of his mouth were smooth and butter, man. That video I played earlier, with Luda, it sounds sweet, man. The words he was speaking of Biden, it sounded sweet, man. What he was going to do, it sounds sweet. In that video, to the average person, it sounds sweet. Like, yeah, he's right. We got to get these criminals, off, the streets. They're thugs, they're drug dealers, But really, they're behind that. It says, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yeah, but they drawing swords, man. You see? That's what's really in this man's heart. When they come out with them sweet words, they really have war towards you, man. And if you go into the book of the Maccabees, right? And actually, let me get this first, and I'm gonna go in the book of Maccabees. All right, so this is and the whole thing on that the 93 speech, this, like I said, this was going on, back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, the crack epidemic, man. You see? Who you think? Let me read this real quick, because it goes in what I'm going to say. It's Psalms 10. Psalms 10 and 4 says, the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts, because if you would understand, if Esau knew Yahweh was in his thoughts, he wouldn't be doing what he's doing to the Yahweh's people, man. You Israelites, man, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American. But he doesn't consider that, because he doesn't think about Yahweh by Shemal Shah. He thinks he is Yahweh by Shemal Shah. Think he is the Most High, His ways are always grievous, thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, which you Israelites, okay, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, you are the number one enemy of Esau Edom. Okay, he hates you, man. He has a perpetual hatred, like it says in Ezekiel, the 35th chapter, the 5th verse, man. You see? He hates you. And he proves it every day in this society, whether it's in your face or whether he's doing something behind your back. It says, he has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent, which you Israelites. His eyes are probably set against the poor, man. And that video was a prime example. You see? Like I said, what was going on in that time, had the crack epidemic. Jake was, blowing each other away at a large amount, dying by the masses, man. See, whether it was by using the drug or selling it, you see? And who was behind that, man? Remember the movie Boys in the Hood? That scene when he was telling them about the real estate? Lawrence Fishburne was telling Ricky and it was Ricky and Trey. That was their names in the movie. About the real estate and gentrification. And the old man was like, he was like, ain't nobody running the property value down. It's these folks. And he pointed at the Jakes, man. They were gangbangers. Says these folks, man. Shooting each other, and he said selling that crack rock. And then what Lawrence Fishburne say? He said, well, we don't have the ships to bring them in here. You see? He said something to some effect. The white man, he wants you to fight each other, man. You see? The so-called white man. You see? He's the one that's he was flooding the dope in there, man. You see? He's the one that set the system up to where if you get, one crime on your record, you won't get a good job. You see? To maintain, man. Okay? He set it up to where you're in poverty, man. All these things he was behind, man. And the another thing, dealing with that, you see the so-called war on drugs was all bullshit because they're the real drug dealers. The whole thing behind the whole thing about the crack epidemic was it was multiple things. You had, Jake, they was roused up, in the late 60s to 70s. You had the Black Panthers movement. You had the Civil Rights era. Jake basically stand up, against Esau oppressing them, man. And then, so he had to break that up. So crack was, the solution to that. Also, you had the gangs. Speaking of these gangs today, if you look at the history of most of these gangs, the gangs started off as a protection of the neighborhood. To protect, Jake within the neighborhood, man. Because you had Jake within that time as well. You had what they call it, the Great Migration. You had Jake come from down south trying to escape the racism down south, and they came to up north and even to the West Coast, in the cities, Compton, Chicago, Baltimore, DC, New York, all these cities up north. And what happened? They were met with resistance by who? You devils, man. You see? So Jake, what? They formed these gangs. They was really protection gangs at first, to protect, Jake from inside, from Edomites coming out and, coming in there, jumping them, beating them up, even lynching them, man. You see? But what did Esau do? He used drugs, mainly crack, and what did that do? Those gangs then, turned, it became a money thing. You see? A turf thing. So he's behind, let me get that, what I was going to get. And another thing is the crack epidemic was, if he was a cocaine dealer, he was a wicked Jake. But his name was Freeway Ricky Ross. That's who the rapper Rick Ross stole his name from. But he had said how the war on drugs, the CIA, and they used that, not only for mass incarceration as well, on you so-called Negroes and you Latinos, but it was also to fund the war of Nicaragua, man. That drug money that they were raiding Jake houses and throwing Jake in jail, the 3-strike law, that was that money was used, was the 3-strike law came after that, but that was used for the Nicaragua war, man. You see? And those Nicaraguans over there, those are also Jakes. So Esau set everything up to where he kills 2 birds with 1 stone, man. You see? So let me get... Alright, so this is, because one of the 7 brothers, they told him that, right? This is the 2nd Maccabees 7. They was trying to get these brothers to go off, to eat the swine, man. And they wouldn't do it. But one of them said this, though. I'm going to start 2nd Maccabees 7:24. It says, now Antiochus, which he was an Edomite, thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech, whilst the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by words, but also assured him with oaths that he would make him both a rich and a happy man if he would turn from the laws of his fathers. They was trying to make us depart from our laws and commit abominations, man, because they know that when we do that, okay, they rule us. We're given into their hands. We lose power. It says, and that also he would take him for his friend and trust him with affairs. So he was trying to get him to sell out, basically. Saying, I'm going to give you riches. If you depart from your laws, I will give you riches. I will make you a happy man. You could rule over certain, lands, certain nations if you would just depart from your laws. It says, but when the young man would in no case hearken unto him, the king called his mother and exhorted her that she would counsel the young man to save his life. And when he had exhorted her with many words, she promised him that she would counsel her son. But she bound herself toward him, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn, spake in her country language on this matter, O my son, have pity upon me that bare thee, and that bare thee 9 months in my womb, and gave thee such 3 years, and nourished thee, and brought thee up unto this age, and endured the troubles of education. I beseech thee, my son, look upon the heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, and consider that Yahweh made them of the things that were not. So she didn't tell him to sell out. She told him to, look to Yahweh Shah, man. You see? That's when our women, they had integrity, man. That's when our women were in order, man. You see? Not the Cardi B's and Megan Thee Stallions you see now, man. That's what Esau did. But it says, and so mankind made likewise. Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren. Because she knew that he was going to be raised up, okay, in the latter times, man, which is happening. While she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, whom wait ye for? I will not obey the king's commandment, but I will obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses, and that thou hast been the author of all the mischief against the Hebrews, man. So now escape the hands of Yahweh, man. See, these Edomites, let me look them up. these devils, okay, they're behind. Hold on. They're behind, you Israelites. Okay, what goes on in your daily lives, man? Your children be out of order. The reason why your woman hates you, you see? The jobs you at, they suck, they're real, they're real oppressors at these jobs, you see? You always broke. You always run into situations. The reason why, Jake, killing each other, divided, hate each other, it's because these devils will, at the end of the day, it's because the curses fell upon us. But these Edomites are being used to enforce that on the planet Earth, man. Okay? These people, so I'm pulling them up now. Trying to find it. Hold on. There they are. These people right here, these Edomites, starting with these elite bangers, they're behind your plight, man. Everything that goes wrong within our nation is they're behind, man. Okay? They're the author of mischief against you tribes, man. Okay? Why are you catching hell? It's because of them. Whether they're in your face doing it or whether they're behind the scenes doing it and covering it up through sweet words and, legislation, They're the ones that's behind your plight, man. You see? And they want to keep it that way. It's them and you got the lower level Edomites. These average everyday Joe six packs, man. Them as a nation, man. And all those other nations that's heathen nations that's in cahoots with them, man. Here's him speaking on immigration right here. I'm not gonna play the whole video, but you already know we coming at.
Ms. Baird, I have a number of questions relating to the actual functioning of the office, from law enforcement to the anti-crime agenda to the drug strategy to healthcare fraud, cooperation with the intelligence community, and others, all of which I will get to. But as you know from our first meeting, I have a fairly, well, I won't say fairly, I have a very strong view relating to the matter to which you spoke last, and that is the hiring of undocumented workers by you and your husband. When we first met on January the 5th, following your being named by President-elect Clinton to be Attorney General, you volunteered this fact to me. You volunteered the circumstances under which this hiring took place, and you volunteered that what did take place was a violation of the United States immigration law. I've spoken to you at length about this matter, and you've been interviewed by the FBI and by the committee investigative staff under oath. And this matter is, as you know, a serious one in my view. The committee and the public, as we've discussed, has to be assured that you are, without exception, going to be willing to enforce the law. And the immigration law falls under your responsibility.
So clearly, we coming at, man. And that's the thing. They call you northern tribes, you so-called Latin tribes, you Israelites as well. They tell you that you're immigrants. They call you immigrants and illegal aliens when he stole his country. Okay? The Issacharites, the Gadites, and the Reubenites, the so-called native Seminole Indians and the so-called Mexicans, they were here first, man. But he came over here and he stole it from you. And he pushed to the world that what? You are, all of you that come from the border, you're all a part of the cartel. If you're not a part of the cartel, you're a part of MS-13. You're a part of 18th Street. This is what he's do. He's the accuser of thy brother, like the scriptures say. You see? This is what he's done. But war is in his heart, man. That's what's in this man's heart for real, man. He ain't for you, man. You see? It's all a snare. It's all a trap. The same old cycle, man. They put hell on you. Okay? Election time come, voting time come. They tell you to vote. You had the commercials up, have your sellouts tell you to go vote. You go do it, and they turn around and do the same thing again. You see? It's a never-ending cycle, man. You see? This is why we need Yahushua, man. I'm going to get a few more scriptures because I ain't got a lot of time left. I'm going to we get that Sirach 12, I'm going to get like 2-3 other scriptures if I got the time to. This is Sirach 12. Right? I'm going to start at 8. It says, a friend cannot be known in prosperity. You know? They cool with you when they prospering, and when you don't kick against what they feel about you, or what they want you to do. But when you start going against that, they show their true colors, man. You see? Try to get a position, the same position as an Edomite, and you see how he react to it. You see? Mess around with an Edomite woman, you see, and see where you at with it. They're going to show their true colors, man. It says, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. It says, in prosperity of a man's enemies, in prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved, but in his adversity, even a friend will depart. Never trust thine enemy, like as iron rusteth souls his wickedness, man. You see? Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou should be on to him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. And thou should know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. You know, this is your enemy, man. And this is what he do. For a period of time, they've been humbling themselves. And when Trump came to office, where all these, let's make America great again. They came back up, man. That hatred came back up. And they still have it towards you, man. Who will pity a charmer that has been with the serpent, or any such as come not wild beast? You see? He's that serpent. Esau, Edom is the serpent, man. Okay? So, one that goes to a sinner is defiled with him, and his sins, who will pity? Speaking to you Israelites, man. Who's going to pity you? You want to keep voting. You want to keep putting your trust in your enemy. You say, who's going to pity you, man? Because he's getting ready to come down with great wrath, man. You see? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. This system is a pit. Okay? This system is really a crime syndicate, a mega crime syndicate, man, that's ran by Esau Edom, man. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood, man. You see? If adversity come upon thee, though thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet he shall undermine thee, man. You see? And these are the same topics that was up in that commercial, man. You know, crime, you know, education, you know. And look, same thing. But look what he's saying then to now. You see? War is still in his heart. That's why we need Yahushua, man. I gotta make this quick. Alright, this is Psalm 69. Right? This is right? I started one. I'm gonna have to make this quick. This is Psalm 69:1 says, to the chief musician upon Shoshanim of Psalm of David, save me, O Yahweh, for the waters are come in onto my soul. And if you go to Revelations 17 and 15, that's the different nations, man, the heathen nations. I sank deep in mire where there is no standing. I am coming to the deep waters where the floods overflow me. I am weary of my crying. My throat is dry. My eyes fail while I wait for my power. They that hate me without a cause, because these nations hate us, man. They hate us because we're the Israelites, and they hate us because when we were on power, you know, King David, you know, Solomon, you know, the time of Joshua, okay, Samson. What happened? When the Lord was dealing with us, we took these nations down, man. We conquered these nations, and they hate us for that, man. They hate the fact that we had the Lord such as commandments, and they don't. They hate the fact that you're Israelites, you know, that you got, you know, you could dress, you know, you could dance, you could, you know, you muscular, you know, the hairstyles. They hate that, man. They want it, but they don't got it, so they hate you. They hate your God, man. They hate Yahweh Shema Shah. Because we are in the image of Yahweh Shema Shah on the planet Earth, man. You see? They that hate me without a cause are more than the hairs of my head. That they will destroy me, being my enemies wrongfully, are mighty. Then I restored that which I took not away. O Yahweh, thou knowest my foolishness, and my sins are not hid from thee. Let not them that wait on thee, O Lord Yahweh of hosts, be ashamed for my sake, because we waiting for Yahweh Shema Shah, man. Let not those that seek thee be confounded for my sake, O Yahweh of Israel, because for thy sake I have borne reproach, shame hath covered my face. I am become a stranger unto my brethren, and alien unto my mother's children. For the zeal of thy house hath eaten me up, and the reproaches of them that reproach thee are fallen upon me, man. When I wept and chastened my soul with fastings that was to my reproach, I made sackcloth also my garment, and I became a proverb to them. And that's what we are to these nations. Black, which you Edomites, you're the real black people. If you really look up the definition of black, which is void of light, is evil, and is wicked, that's you Edomites, man. You're the real black people. Which, because you're in power, you were able to deceive the world and to make them think that we're the evil people. Okay? The northern kingdom of the evil people. That's what you, made the world to believe, man. And you're going to pay for that, man. But the point being is, we need divine intervention, man. The same divine intervention that put us in a predicament, you know. It's going to be the same divine intervention that's going to get us out of this predicament. And I'm going to get that. You know? This is Baruch. Could be the 4th chapter. I'm going to actually start up and I'm going to jump down. Right? This is the book. This is Baruch 4:1. Says, this is the book of the commandments of Yahweh and the law that endure forever. All that keep it shall come to life, man. But such as leave it shall die, man. This is why you Israelites is in the states, man. Because you refuse to come back to your power, man. You refuse to come back to the law, such as commandments, man. You see? Anything outside that leads to what? Sin. And sin is what? The wages of sin is death. You see? Obedience is better than sacrifice. That's all the Lord's asking for is obedience and repentance. Because that's the weapon against these heathen, man. It's repentance to our power, man. Obedience. That's why they got to put all this folly out here to make you confused and go off. Turn to your Jacob and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. Because we're the real Illuminati, man. The righteous Illuminati. You see, they're the wicked. Give not thy honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation, these heathens, man. You see? Oh, Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to Yahweh are made known unto us. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction. We weren't sold to these heathens to be in captivity forever, man. Just to be the reproach of the earth, man. To be the outcast, man. They just keep doing what they're doing and getting away with it. No. But because ye moved Yahweh to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemies. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing on the devils and not to Yahweh. And our people are still doing that. The bulk of them, man. Ye have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. For when she saw the wrath of Yahweh coming upon you, she said, hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion. Yahweh had brought upon me great mourning. For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them. You see? So Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, the Lord, he witnessed us go into captivity, man. You see, when Esau and them heathen was rounding us up and shipping us, to the west and shipping some of us to the east, the Lord was watching that whole thing. See, Esau thought he just did that and nobody know about it. You see? This is the 17th verse. But guess what? But what can I help you? For he that brought these plagues upon you, because who brought these plagues upon us? Yahweh did, man. Will deliver you from the hands of your enemies. Go your way, O my children, go your way, for I am left desolate. I have put off the clothing of peace and put upon me sackcloth of my prayer. I will cry unto the everlasting my days, man. Be of good cheer, O my children, cry unto the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, and he will deliver you from the power and the hand of the enemies, man. This is the true way of getting out. This is the true solution, man. Everything of voting, your gun, these other doctrines, all that's vain, man. It's not gonna work, man. It's never worked. Okay? It's been done and it's failed. For my hope is the everlasting, that he will save you, and joy is come unto me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting Savior. Everlasting our Savior, which is Yahweh, man. For I send you out with mourning and weeping, but Yahweh will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. Like as now the neighbors of Zion, these heathen, have seen your captivity, they've witnessed us go on in slave ships, man. All these nations got terms for calling us cotton pickers, man. You see? It says, so shall they shortly see your salvation from our power, which shall come upon you with great glory and the brightness of the everlasting, man. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you. You got to suffer these curses as of right now, being on the bottom. For thy enemy hath persecuted thee, but surely thou shalt see his destruction and shalt tread upon his neck. And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing his destruction. And the next part is going to be us treading upon his neck and putting these nations in captivity, man. You see? All we got to do is wait for it. All we got to do is put our faith in Yahweh Shema Shah, man. The scriptures say, through faith and much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom, man. This is how it's set up, man. Okay? Voting and all, like I said, voting and all that other madness is not going to work, man. It's all vain, man. Voting for the enemy is not going to get you out of captivity, man. This is, man. Repentance is. Okay? Obedience to Yahweh Shema Shah is, man. You see? That's the true threat. You see? I'm way late. Hopefully I don't, get busted off this, but I'm going to end it with this. So those of you that want to enter in some other way, because what does the Lord say? They that enter in some other way is a thief and a robber, man. You trying to escape the curses, you trying to go in some other way besides Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Shah, you are considered to the Heavenly Father a thief and a robber, man. And the Lord's going to destroy you, man. You see? Sirach 2 and 12. It says, woe be to the fearful hearts and faint hands and the sinner that goeth two ways, man. Voting, putting your trust in anything outside Yahweh Shema Shah. Woe unto you that have lost patience. And what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways. They that fear the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah will seek that which is well pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy, man. You see? But I actually skipped the verse. It says, woe unto him, this is the 13th verse, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended, man. You ain't going to be defended in what's getting ready to crack out here, man. You see? You're going to be left out here high and dry, man. You see? And you're going to have to go to Esau and see if he help you then. So call her Lord Allah Yahweh Shema Shah, Yahweh Ratzidaz was edifying, Baba Gashah, Abba Papa, Abba Papa, Abba Ha Ayabya, Abba Ha Ayabya. Shalom to the elect, and to the few Akwaf that do listen, learn, believe, and do honor your husband. Shalom.